Yeti ombura, Yeti omburade, Yeti omburade, and here we are. Let's talk about opposition. Opposition is the state we find ourselves in when we feel as if something is tugging at us, disallowing us from just relaxing, right? Oh, goodness gracious, there's opposition within myself. Oh, holy moly, there's opposition out here in some situation, and why can't I just have some peace of mind? God darn it, come on now. Well, any opposition is there to show you that the very force which repels that which seems to attack you or seems so distinct from you is the same force that attracts all opposites. Because this integration, this process we're going through, this ascension, is indeed the process of maintaining that what we saw as opposite was actually always alike in its nature. This is why we say light and dark, two sides of the same coin. Masculine and feminine, two sides of the same coin. Does this mean we should just merge everything into a lifeless androgynous nothing? Absolutely not. Full integration means we carry the aspects of the light, of the dark, of chaos, of order on our backs in such a way that we don't feel burdened by them, in which we are lifting them up as they lift us up. And this is why when you integrate the 6 and the 9, you get the 8, the infinite spiral. Because creation and creator are infinitely intertwined in a loop of playfulness. And I say playfulness because that is the true state of the cosmos. Why not? The cat and mouse game of existence is so damn pleasing once we're comfortable with that infinite interplay, right? And the cat and mouse both know what they're doing. The mouse enjoys the attack because it gives the mouse something to live for, right? And the cat finds reward equally in feeling dominant. You have felt dominated by your own shadows, right? So you have been the mouse, but you've also been the cat. And that interplay does not have to be destructive and dual. Chaos and order, masculine and feminine, don't have to be eternally at odds with each other. You are existing in a sea of artificial consciousness. You are existing in the land of inversion, but the inversion is simply there to reestablish integration, full integration within you. There is no such thing as full integration without dividing that wholeness and then having to reestablish everything you thought was so distinct and separate. After all, if we can't observe how the inner reflects into the outer, how can we resolve anything, including this matrix? You see, there's nothing inherently wrong with the world. This is the number one rule. And this is what I've been trying to tell all of you. You have always been safe because the nourishing breath of spirit is here to guide you back into yourself. Now, the paradox in that is you can never exit yourself because you are always experiencing your innermost in its entirety. What a bitch, right? What a bitch. The only reason you or I would ever experience a threat or some kind of looming danger would be because of an inner adherence to the energies that propagate those very dangers. As within, so without. It's so simple. Now we got all of these folks, truthers out there, talking about the Matrix as if it's some kind of system which you need to escape from or else it shall eat you alive. And while this is true in many ways, it's not completely accurate, because the only reason you've ever been here is because you ate from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. To say in another way, you yourself decided to split away from wholeness and entertain everything that seems so separate and divided. And why did you do that? Because you can. Because if there is experience to be had, the all is going to experience that. If not for any other reason than to run that possibility to its very end, so that possibility basically dissolves from the collective repertoire of what we can and can't tap into. And this is why more and more tapping into duality is proving to be quite uncomfortable. At one point, many of us thought the only method of interpreting the world was to siphon off everything into specific categories, or else without those categorizations, without those specifications, without those finite meanings, how could we find any solace? Well, that question seems fucking retarded now, because solace exists within the artful space of spirit, of the heart, of ease. This is literally nothing more than a superimposition on the heart space, aka a temporary hologram displaying to you the innermost opposition that begs for full integration. And that's the only reason why there is deadness here. This is why we say we're in the land of the dead. It's because if something does not witness a transformation within themselves, if there is not an innate alchemical marriage that one is destined to complete, then they're temporary. Then the structure they adhere to is temporary. I don't care what this veil wishes to show. I only wish to understand how what the veil shows interacts with my inner. Therefore, it's like the song that keeps hitting you with such melodious verses. Bippity boppity boom boo! Sophia, what do you say? Oh, she doesn't specifically say. Just like I don't specifically say. What do you specifically mean? Here you are in this now moment, and you're feeling completely yourself. How does it feel? Yeah, it's pretty pleasant. Not so great. Maybe it could be better. You know what? Not perfect, but I accept the imperfection of this moment. What do you need? What do you want? What do you seek? What do you dream? And what do you feel? And should you attach to such thought forms, such feelings, such dreams? Perhaps. And oftentimes we have to attach in order to realize that detachment is sincerely the only way to truly move forward in a harmonious way. The stagnations of the energy extraction matrix attempt to explore you when you have hung up the phone to what we would call the divine. What you get isn't what you see. What you are is what you see. And this is why we say approach existence with ease or be victimized by it. Because without that center point, allowing, then we're running. We're running from the truth. And why would we ever run from the truth?